Tell me what it's like to work under the Synchron licence banner.
Synchron's been fantastic. From the very beginning when I met Don, John, and all the rest of the people at Synchron, coming from a sporting background, I love the whole team and culture and the family side of things that they epitomise and certainly focus on. The thing that I've had with Synchron is that they've never pretended to be anything that they're not. I certainly like the fact that they don't own any of the manufacturers, any of the insurance companies. So that was a big tick. But then certainly, just letting you get on with doing your business the way that you want to do it, and obviously within the rules and guidelines.
Absolutely.
But also when you do stick your hand up and ask for support, they're there as well.
Okay, very good. So how would you characterise the nature of your advice business? Is it risk-focused or holistic advice or somewhere in between? Or?
Risk-focused.
Okay.
Yes, yep, 100%. We do have some superannuation clients that I guess morph out of existing risk clients over time, but yeah, the focus is on risk.
Okay, so you're a risk-focused advisor with a sporting background. That's
Yes.
a good combination, Scott.
Yeah.
Tell me a bit about your sporting background.
So I've been a baseballer since I was 8 years old. Been involved in the game ever since, no longer playing. As much as my mind says I'd love to, the body doesn't quite respond the way it used to.
Well, you're looking pretty trim though. Was it a particular injury or you just...
I think it's just over time. So I was pretty fortunate in my career to play both in Australia and overseas and get to travel and do some things. So
Tell us a little bit about that. What was the highest level you played?
Highest level was I represented Australia and played at the 1996 Atlanta Olympics. That was a tremendous experience. Played at a couple of different world championships and other tournaments of that nature.
So you've become the first Olympian to feature on Risk Info Lifetime.
Is that right?
Congratulations, Scott. I think so. You never know. So growing up, you started baseball when you were about 8 years old?
Yeah, in fact, I started when I was living in Perth. So I'm a Melbourne boy.
Okay.
Barracked for Essendon, although the last couple of years haven't been all that exciting or fun, but hopefully there's a bit of light at the end of the tunnel there. Okay. Moved to Perth. My dad worked for BHP. I was working on the North West Shelf project. Okay. That was the late 70s. Okay. So I spent primary school over in Perth and started playing baseball when I was over there. Moved back to Melbourne and just continued on from there.
What position, Scott? Were you?
I was a catcher.
Okay.
Yeah, was my main position.
Right, so a catcher becomes that's a natural segue into delivering financial advice with risk focus.
Absolutely, yeah.
How did that all come about?
In terms of getting into this industry now?
Yeah.
So I've got a teaching background, worked in sport for a bit over 10 years, finished my career actually working for Baseball Victoria. I was the executive director for 2.5 years. And then I made a decision as I worked through, do I want to continue working in sport for the rest of my working life? And I decided no. It worked well whilst I was playing and through my career that way. I felt I needed something different. There was something else out there. I'd always had an interest in numbers and the finance side of things, so started doing some study and then threw out my resume, got a paraplanning role. Starting from the bottom up and quickly worked into advising within sort of the space of 10 months and then spent a number of years in the ING ANZ group through ING Financial Planning, Super Concepts, Retire Invest, and then moved into an Aon practice where sort of then came full circle back to risk, where I started when I was at ING.
Okay, well that's brilliant for owning your own career progression. Do you see your future to be still in the financial advice sector? Is this where your future is going to lie now?
Look, I think it is. I think it will continue to evolve. The industry is evolving, the world's evolving, how advice is delivered is evolving. I don't have a particular view on what it will look like necessarily, but I think we need to make sure that we do keep evolving. Whether it's just pure risk, I don't think so. I think there will certainly be that element going forward because I truly believe in it, and I think it's a very valuable business, an important business to be in, to be helping and supporting families in that regard. But I think there's some other things as well that just helping people in other ways. And I'm sure
Okay,
I'll find
no,
that
that's very good.
in some way.
So unlike many people that deliver financial advice, you've proactively marched into this area of the industry. Do you have a message for emerging advisors, people thinking about perhaps they're working in the industry at the moment, they're looking to perhaps get to the sharp end of the sector to deliver financial advice to serve the interests of clients? Have you got a message for any of those people?
I think the message is if you love dealing with people, love connecting with people and helping make a difference to their lives and help them to flourish in their own lives, if you are able to be true to yourself and do that to start with for yourself, but then to help others, there's nothing more rewarding from my point of view.
Well, that sounds pretty great. Next time we have a conversation, we'll find out a bit more about what it was like to be an Olympian. Scott, for the time being, thank you for your time.
Great. Thank you, Peter.
Thanks.
Cheers.